All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we start this episode, it's only right that we do a quick shout out. Jared, serve us up real quick.
I just want to say thank you to C's Management, Daily Finesse. They blessed us with a bottle after their episode. We got to shout them out. YouTube, we wouldn't be sipping on that during this episode, but, if you know, you know.
And listen, some of it's already gone, so
Listen,
it's obviously
we start
good.
early around here. You can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
Hey, we don't just keep props around here. We use ours.
Exactly.
Facts.
That's awesome.
All right, so with that being said, welcome back to another episode of the Within Range podcast. Ear God is on today. Jared Suter is on today. Dom Juan. Guest we have on today is clearly no stranger to the pod. I made it clear just a few minutes ago that people have come on twice, but never three times. And that says a lot. This man has stayed connected with us from day one. We followed up with him, the amount of work he's put out. This man gave us our first IMDb credit. Can we shout that out?
Thank
real
you.
quick?
Yes, public. We need to thank you for that.
Yeah.
Play it again, Tony. No, I'm just kidding. No, No, seriously.
Killing
though,
it.
That was.
Killing it.
I'll be honest. I don't really post on social media outside of the podcast. I think my last one was. I think I might have sent one off in 2018. But my main social network is I let my mom know about stuff, and then it makes its rounds around the Tunney clan there. And let me tell you, that was big news. So thank you.
Yeah.
Nice.
So happy to have him back on. He's going to take us in a different lane tonight than what we've spoken to. Our man is the expert on UFOs, aliens, Arizona history. We're going in a different lane right now. So excited to get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Clive Byfields today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you once again. We got the applause too. I love that, man.
When Ear God's
you guys
on,
are
we get that.
stepping it up, man. I'm telling you.
This is a live studio
The
audience
Ear
when
God
Ear
is
God's here.
doing it, man.
So, Clive, real quick, just before we get into this, listen, you've been on our show twice now. We actually interviewed you the first time at a studio in Old Town Scottsdale. Then you came when we first started this. Just real quick, for those who have been here or maybe not, what is, I guess, the growth you've seen with us just being in the studio? Like, can you just talk about that just for a hot second?
Yeah, man, popularly. I remember that podcast
Old
took
Town
place in Old
Scottsdale.
Town, man.
Yep.
And you guys definitely, I know that saved a lot of money on the pockets, right? But you've gotten your own studio and look at what, like, I'm just looking at everything, right? This is just us here in the studio,
Yeah.
but the television, the video, the logos, you got everything here, man. And I'm just blown away by what I'm seeing. And every time I come back, there's something new, something exciting. And you've added something, a new element and stuff. So, I'm just proud of you guys. That's why, when I got that phone call about this specific topic, like I was saying earlier, before the conversation was even done, I'm like, yeah, I know where I'm going.
You know some guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Within
We know a
range,
guy.
man.
I got a guy for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Couple.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, Clive, we've talked to you about UFOs, aliens before. Drew, Jared, you guys know this. You're taking us down a different path, right?
Yes.
So I guess, for people who may have watched our show or keep up with your documentaries, talk to us about this transition for you and what, what's to come with this.
Yeah, so it's not a complete shift of what I'm doing. I'm still doing the alien stuff, the unknown, paranormal, but I've been asked to touch on like the true crime elements and stuff like that. And the main topic is why is there such a fascination with crime, murder,
I'm guilty.
death, right? You were
guilty.
telling me
I'm guilty,
you
dude.
love this stuff. So I'm trying to figure out like where this all started, how it happened. You know what I mean? Like we are just in a world where crime is just number one across the board. So like I said, when I got the phone call, I was like, dude, I got the perfect people that, can talk about. And you were even telling me about a crime that happened I think it was in Utah. What was the young lady's name?
Yeah, the Lori Vallow case.
I'm not familiar with that case. So break that down. What's going on there?
Okay, so listen, Jared might need to assist me with this, but so it was this lady who was part of this church, and I guess somehow it ended up in a cult setting. She ended up having an affair, but her husband got murdered, and then she and this guy she was having an affair with buried their kids at a farm they had up in Idaho. But she's been tried here. I think she was out of Chandler.
It started in Chandler.
It started in Chandler.
Yeah,
I think that's where the church started, was in Chandler. And then, dude, it's the biggest case going on in Arizona right now.
By the end, I mean, she was mentally ill, but
Clearly.
she thought she was a god, and
Yep.
she was getting told by God that her kids were demons and that they needed to be killed, and so they did that, buried them. Yeah.
Found the
Wow.
bodies and everything.
See, and thank you for putting me onto that. I'm gonna have to look into that. I've been looking into the gentleman up in like Idaho that killed the college students.
Yeah.
He's on court now,
Horrifying,
if
dude.
I'm not mistaken. And then another one that I was looking at and because you said mental illness, right? And that was one of the aspects of a lot of the crimes that I was, looking at, even present and past. The one more that I was focused on was Luigi Mangione.
United Healthcare, right?
Yes, yeah, and it's like he didn't. I mean, from what I understand, he went to an Ivy League school.
Oh, yeah, he had a cush life. Like,
living good.
Yeah.
And that type of and this is all alleged, right? But if he is the one found that he did this, when you look at the video footage and how he got away, and I'm sorry, that's not signs of mental illness. Now, there are other cases out there where clearly mental illness is something that can be looked at and talked about. But that one right there, like that is a pre-planned,
Premeditated.
yeah, and he executed it with precision. But another thing that I was looking at is when it comes to the fascination, right? You said you love crime TV. What is it, if you don't mind me asking, what is it about the person that commits the crime who just so happens to have good looks?
It's interesting you bring that up because honestly, we talked about before this, and Jared was the one that kind of named off some of the killers. I mean, Ted Bundy's been known for that.
I mean, Luigi Mangione has fans outside of his trial right now. And like, listen, do I think that big insurance companies are something that is like sacred and should be protected, and that they're these great people and I can't believe it? Like, no, I can see it. I can see how it happened, but like, we can't be glorifying like just murdering a man in the streets too.
Absolutely
like,
not.
I get the statement.
Correct.
Other ways to make it, you know what I mean? And so these people that are just like in there cheering for this guy is just like, oh, imagine
wild.
seeing your daughter in there like, oh my God, Luigi. You're just like, oh, jeez.
There is a fascination for, once again, crime that just blows my mind. And that's why this shift is happening, because it's like really trying to, find the starting point of it. And, one person that I think of, outside of like Charles Manson, he didn't really have the looks,
He had a harem.
but it was like, I think he had like the way with the words, he had a
charisma.
mouthpiece,
Yeah.
The mouthpiece.
and fans, like you said, that they just, even now he still has fans. But the case that really, got my attention and happened here in Arizona was the Jodi Arias trial.
I remember
Huge.
that, dude. That was a big deal out here.
Now, I didn't live here at that time because I moved here in 2009, and so I knew about that upon coming here.
Oh, you were moved here a year after it happened.
Yeah, it was around that time. So it,
And
I mean,
she got sentenced in 2015 too. So it
Yeah,
went that long.
2015.
Yeah.
Yep.
Think about that, dude. That's a long time. Yeah.
so what led you to Jodi? How did you end up here?
Well, one aspect was the horrific murder. Two was mental illness. And then her looks. And when you look at that case specifically, that was 10 years ago, like I said, when the conviction, but the murder happened in 2008. But that's right around the time where like court TV and the viewership for
First
people
48.
wanting to see this really, really took off. And being that, the Jodi Arias trial happened here, at the time I didn't realize it, but I knew and still know some very important figures that were involved in that case, like Sheriff Joe. I went out to his office to sit down and just talk with him and, see what files that he has and information that he still has on that case. One, he's old, but, got to remember that was 2008, 2015.
It was a while now.
That was a
Yeah.
while ago.
Yep.
Is he in his 80s now?
He's actually, Sheriff Joe is like 92, 93.
Whoa,
He's up there. Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize he was
sharp
that
as a
old.
tack, too.
Yeah, and surprisingly, like I said, I personally know him. So being able to go and sit down and talk with him, he looks very good for his age.
Fountain Hills will do that to you, dude.
Fountain Hills will definitely
Listen,
do that to
you're
you.
probably living all right in the mountains.
Yeah, but now that he's not in law enforcement anymore and having to deal with these high-profile cases and celebrities and
Really good
these
for the blood pressure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But talking about this case with him in specific, I quickly learned, why he took over the case. And, he did answer some of the questions indirectly or sometimes even off camera. But one of the questions, that I had was, did you take over this case to specifically let her hang herself in those interviews? Because that information can be used against you at a later time. And with that aspect and thinking of her mental illness, going against the advice of your lawyers to sit there and just talk on camera freely, clearly that was a sign that she was mentally unstable.
0 out of 10 lawyers recommend that.
Yeah.
Particularly when it pertains to a murder trial.
Yeah, absolutely. And then another key figure that I know, his name is Darren Birch, and he was the sergeant of Crime Stoppers, silent witness over, Maricopa County. And, he surprisingly, he had some real ill feelings towards Jodi Arias and even the case because he has to use the media to get his information out there, and that case just took over everything, the radio, the news, newspapers, and he was not able to get his job done the entire time.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff was happening on his end that, he just wasn't able to push out there. So sitting down and getting to interview and talk with these people, I learned a lot of inside information that I really don't think became public. So that's why we're doing this documentary and providing that information, because there was just a lot of things that the media was just weird that they took over the case, but her mental health was overlooked, glazed over.
Yeah.
And then not only that, there was just a lot of, fallout, even with the lawyers. Both of them aren't practicing law anymore.
Really? I did not know that.
Yep.
Wow.
Well,
especially on her team, I could see that. I mean, that was... Yeah,
his name is
you
Juan
should have
Martinez.
just gotten out of there.
Yeah, and he was leaking inside information.
Whoa.
To like a blogger or something like that. You got to keep in mind, when I say blogger, that was the time.
Well, that
back
term
back then,
yes.
right? But
huge.
you think about it, it wasn't that long ago.
No.
The new generation might not know what that is. But
TV, radio was still like the most popular. Podcasts were literally just becoming a thing, like literally just becoming a thing. Yeah. And I feel like that's where we saw everything on TV. That's kind of where we saw it. And then there's very few limited resources of like sourcing to get informations of stories like this, unless it was like the Times, any type of, newspaper publication. So this was, I think people were more excited about this because it was at the right age group where people were really interested. It was different for like the OJ case where he's a celebrity figure. He's a little bit older. So more people that grew up with him. That's why it was so like a nationwide thing, where this was like, this is somebody that could be your next door neighbor that could happen to this.
Good point, Drew.
Yeah. And, talking to Darren and Drew, you really hit it. He said that this case was, it was similar to OJ. OJ was the instant celebrity. Mm-hmm. She became the instant celebrity overnight. And, back to what Drew was saying, when it comes to the news and all these, podcasts was just coming online, at that time. I mean, live feeds weren't even like in Facebook,
That's
right?
the tail end of mainstream media being the one and only channel to consume this.
And when it, once again, I was trying to find, well, which case would it have been to where producers and television studios were like, hey, this could be something for the future. Mm-hmm. And the Jodi Arias case is the one that sticks out the most. You know what I mean?
I think right off the bat, too, one of the things that stands out to me, and I'm sure someone will hear this and be in the comments, so I won't speak definitely here, but in general, one of the few cases that the case is named after the killer. You know what I mean? It's. I remember a big one for me growing up. So honestly, Jodi Arias was probably the second biggest one that was like something on my radar. Lacey Peterson, because I was in California at the time.
Yeah.
You think about things like that, and it's the victim. This was this sweet thing, and it's not like the guy. I mean, yeah, he wasn't an Abercrombie model, but he was a good looking, like just normal looking dude. Like he would easily have been like, oh my God, that guy got killed. You would have felt bad for him, but it went with Jodi, and I think it goes a little bit back to media and what's going to sell. You don't get that many attractive lady killers. You don't get that, and they ran with it. Sounds like
Casey
Yeah,
Anthony was another one too.
Casey
that's
Anthony,
right.
and
Even
she just
Lori-
hit the news waves as well. So something about like trying to have more kids or getting married or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
I
I
saw
saw
that.
that.
Yeah.
And the and who she was Lori Vallow wasn't there was that mom too. Did you see that mom influencer that was out in Utah? I think it was.
Is that the
Have you
same?
Was
I
that
don't
the
think it was.
dancing one?
I don't know. Wasn't I don't think she was the
Or a
dance mom's one, but
TikTok
this
one?
mom was she was like a big time mom influencer, and it was like one of those YouTube families. And it
Oh,
was like,
yeah, and
oh,
she
the
was abusing
Johnsons
the
are going
children?
and like
Yeah.
insane abuse, and the kid finally escaped the house.
Yep.
He finally escaped the house and went to the neighbors, and the whole 911 call is there, and you can hear the kid in the background. But like, yeah, well, we haven't eaten in a week, and da 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 da. Like, we haven't. Do you have any water? I haven't had water in. Yeah,
That does sound
and it
familiar.
was like this huge. I mean,
It
it
was
looks
on
like a
social
house.
media,
Yes,
right?
and it looks
I
like it
think
was a
so.
house in. I mean, it's in Utah, but for anyone out here watching, it looks like a house, a gorgeous house in Paradise Valley. I mean, it was stunning, and that was going on.
So yeah,
Something about
like
the desert.
the abuse factor, because similar to from that case, it makes you wonder if Jodi Arias had any type of, because the one thing I do know is her mom, there was issues there. Her mom's on record in court saying that Jodi had issues. She brought up some of her friends saying even if she was younger, she had mental problems. There were certain things that was going on. And was there abuse? Now you can definitely look back and say there were definitely triggers. And one of the things that was definitely overlooked in this case was the camera, the aspect of the camera.
As she was doing the act,
Yes.
you mean? Yes.
Not only that, but she was a photographer
Yep.
prior, right? We know that.
Photographer.
Yeah. We know that
She enjoyed documenting her time with him,
that's where I was trying to find the right words for that,
OF
right?
before OF.
Well said, Jared.
and not just the
Eloquently-
meals. You
But
know
no,
what I mean?
that's absolutely, that's the best way that I could have put it. You said it correctly. Documenting their time together. Apparently, he bought the camera, and they weren't together that long before thing. But then it really,
She felt it was
Escalated.
longer than what it was.
She was
I
actually a
think
stage
so.
5 clinger.
The
Yeah,
one,
yes,
The one
she
that
was-
sticks in my head is that there's a picture of him that she took when he was in the shower.
It was right before it happened.
And-
before it happened.
Right
Oh,
before.
that was the one right before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
okay.
Literally right
Yeah.
before she.
Oh, was she armed in that one? Wait, did I
Yes.
miss
She
that?
shot him
Dude,
in the head.
I thought she
stabbed
was
him.
toying with him before that.
No, she
So-
took the pictures before she.
Yes. So there's
Yeah, that's
that
what I'm
picture
saying.
where
So-
he's standing,
Yeah.
and then after that, there's a picture where he's laying in a puddle of blood.
That I remember. Okay, I
So-
forgot it was
yeah.
right before that, but it was just like, even if he didn't know it was coming, like, just dead inside. Like, he was just, you can see it in his eyes. He
In
was
his eyes.
He
There
was
was
broken
something
dealing with
not-
that.
So that, it makes me wonder, because she went over there the night before, stayed the night.
Yeah.
And from
Weren't they broken up at the time?
No,
No,
I don't
they
think
had
so.
gotten back to.
well,
'cause
the relationship was
Back and
tumultuous.
forth. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Plus, she lived in another state. So
Oh, I
she
don't-
didn't
they
live
were
here.
long
If I'm not
distance.
mistaken, she lived in either Utah or California.
It was in
Okay.
California.
California,
Oh,
okay.
Drew, that's right.
So she was driving back and forth. That's why she had the gas can, because if I think she was,
She took that route.
yeah, she was taking a route, and then obviously she
Well,
didn't
she
want to
came to
stop for gas.
quartzsite. You know where? I mean, that's.
No, she did.
Is
She
that-
took
is
a
that the
big.
route
She
she
took a
took?
big loopy route, and I think there was something about it. Didn't they initially they thought she couldn't have done it?
It was
Yeah,
either
and then-
quartzsite or
and-
Yuma. She had to come from
Yeah.
one of those motherfuckers.
So she was like the actual trip that she took, and there's gas receipts, but I don't think she knew that the rental car, they were able to keep track of the miles and locations.
That's what. Yes.
Amateur
So
mistake.
when she turned the rental car in, she went to like Vegas, California, all these different places before she had put in like 2,800 miles on the car before she turned it in. So what we were looking at, especially talking with Darren, was obviously, she planned on killing him, but did she plan on killing him that day in specific? Because when a woman disconnects, she's not going to come to your house the night before, sleep with you, and then kill you the next day. If she snapped, truly snapped,
It would be in the moment.
it would be in the moment. So she had a knife, she had the gun, she was there the night before, so she might have been planning this. But when you look at the actual killing itself, keep in mind, he's in the shower. She takes a picture of him.
Defenseless.
Listen, I'm just going to say right now.
Completely defenseless.
Come to this house, 99% of the time it's going to end badly for you. If you're going to catch me lacking, post-coitus in the shower, I'm cooked. I'm toast, dude. The straps across the room. I'm not in that mindset. I mean, just truly,
you're drained.
Yeah, that's it. You're done. Your defense
if it was planned,
defense grid's down, dude.
She drained him, and that's why she went there to literally drain him of his energy. Now,
Damn, I didn't even think about that.
What was
you are drained after.
You're drained.
You're drained.
Complete. And who
fight
knows?
Off a murderer after that?
Listen, we should be laughing right now.
Sorry, you're right.
Who knows? And like I said, but who knows how many times she put it on him before
she could have been multiple rounds, dude. It could have been.
And from what we've heard about their sex life, there was a lot going on.
It sounded animated.
To the core.
Do you think there's something about the multi-level marketing space? I mean, being funny, but also like there is something that I do think there's something to it where these people see.
It's almost like a cult.
Yes,
right?
it's like that following. It's that same. It falls in that same thing.
Drew was part of one, so he can answer.
I guess the victim that he wasn't in there, that he was part of it too. But
Drew, speak on it. I know. Listen, I never said this out loud, but Drew was kind of part of some shit back in the day.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was fun. One of my friends was in it. I tried it out. It was cool. Like once I kind of got deeper of like what it actually is and like how it all works, like it all became like it's all a pattern. It's all the same. So. When I started reading into the story, I was like, let me kind of get more of the mental state of like where it all stems from. So, like you said, her mom has, said she's been a troubled child. She started growing weed at 8th grade. Like,
I did not know that.
She started growing weed at 8th grade. So, like, she dropped out of school, I think, after like her junior year. She moved to California to basically start a new life. That's when she did the MLM company, which was prepaid legal. That's where she met him at a conference. Basically caught his attention. He started introducing her to different people in his world because he was actually a pretty decent, prominent figure in that space. And basically he was one of those guys where he was like, came off as a player. He's like, I'm Mormon. Yeah, he's like, I'm Mormon, I'm trying to save myself to marriage. Basically, he kind of finessed that situation. She started basically becoming like in love with him, but he would always keep her at a distance. She transferred to being a Mormon. She moved out there towards him.
I forgot
she converted to Mormon,
yes.
He actually baptized her. There's pictures of him.
Yeah, he baptized her personally, yeah.
I completely forgot that.
I get why she snapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he broke it off and was like, basically, this isn't working out. She had already moved there, so he started seeing somebody else. She would like stalk and basically she sent the girlfriend at the time like a crazy email, basically like you're gonna have to go through with the choices of the things that you're going through. So part of me feels like this was premeditated, but there's one specific type of mental state that happens. I feel like in a lot of murders, I personally feel like in the OJ case this happened. There's a thing called dissociative amnesia, meaning when a traumatic event happens, there's a like unknown period of time where your body basically shuts that part off of part of your brain and forgets it. So everything that she probably did was very premeditated, driving around and all those things that seemed like a premeditated murder. But her story of every time that she kept getting interviewed, her story would change is because those memories would be very blurry and she couldn't figure out a perfect way to lie, but she also couldn't find a perfect way to tell the truth because she didn't remember any of those things.
I have to agree with you on that because when you look at the murder itself and how it happened, you stab somebody 27 times.
And right? Shoot them.
Well, she sliced his throat at some point. There's stabs and then there's slicing.
Oh.
Yeah, and she stabbed him, shot him in the head, and then sliced him ear to ear.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
When if you're a woman, you slice a grown man ear to ear, that's vengeance. That's not, that's not accidental.
So to get back to Clive's point, right, it's like you had talked initially about like having good looks and then doing this type of like murder, like, what do you see as the correlation between that? Like, given, even like we didn't mention the Menendez brothers. That was a doc that just came out.
Yeah.
Now, like, they're about to be possibly out and things like that. So, What have you found in your research or your studies? Like, is there a correlation there, or I guess why are people obsessed with good-looking people who commit these types of murders?
In my opinion, I think the mental health is one.
Okay.
When typically, someone who is, obviously good looking, they come in, they're hypersexual. You know, to me, I recognize that's a sign of bipolar. And somebody that has the looks, you mix the sex in it, and then the heinous crime, and then the topping is the religion. So those are like the four aspects that really make a crime, at least the four pillars that make a crime one stand out, but also get that media attention, right? Like the Menendez brothers.
And to Jared's point, the Lori Vallow she was a baddie, dog. I mean, she don't look like that now in the court systems, but back in the day, she was an attractive woman.
I mean, look at it.
Yeah.
Religion, right? You look at Manson, he was, some sort of cult, but those are also called religions, right?
Yeah.
Jim Jones, with drinking the juice. You also have the UFO cult / religion with Bonnie Nettles and the Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate. That's when they all.
Yep.
It was a group of them that died.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid? Is that
Don't drink.
that's
Well,
drink- or
that's Jim
that was
Jones.
Jim
That was
Jones.
Jim Jones.
That's Jim
Okay.
Jones.
This alien cult was
I
different,
thought
though.
Jim Jones
Yes.
was We Stay High. I'm just kidding.
I was like, wait, I know that, but it took a second. Like, oh, I get. Yeah. That was a good one. That was a good one.
Sorry.
But yeah, no, Heaven's Gate. Now, if you, you guys might be too young to remember this.
I've
Heaven's
seen the
Gate
doc. I've seen the doc.
was the reason why the Cortez, the dope mans, those blew up because when they showed the crime scene photos, for some reason they were all wearing Cortez, the dope mans. So that shoe skyrocketed after that, right?
I
Try
want
not
to
to
look like
laugh.
I want to. Yeah. That's,
Try not to laugh.
why is that? It is. It's so grim, but we have this fascination. I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I think it's the same. I think it taps into a different part of, and probably an even more raw one because it's like people. Why do people like jumping out of airplanes for some? Or why do people like roller coasters? It's like or why do people like action movies? You can get that thrill without engaging in it.
Yeah.
And there is that darkness, like the propensity to kill. It exists. Like we're human beings and we have the ability to defend ourselves. So the ability to like take a life, but knowing that it's extreme, I think people enjoy that little dance with it. But then you tie in like potentially like your brain's telling you you're like attracted to this person. A little religion in there. It's a powder keg.
Think about
Good
how
point.
people, once the crime is committed and they're sentenced, think about all the fans and the letters and stuff that
Guys
they
get married in prison.
Guys get married. But Charles Manson, till this day, still gets fan letters from women.
He's dead.
How is that even possible? Like, why is he still getting information? Like, what is going on here? But like Jodi Arias, probably. What's funny is I wrote her a letter to get an interview, to see if we can interview afterwards. And one, the letter system, it was backed up, mailing system was backed up for her, but two, she was in the hole. So imagine,
Oh wow.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, imagine the buildup.
Great way to rehabilitate. I mean, I guess she's in there for life, so rehabilitation's
Yeah,
not the concern. But my goodness,
That was another part of the trial too, right? It was like they wanted the death penalty. The jury, I guess, voted against it because in the state of Arizona, there's still the death penalty, right?
Yes.
You can
I think they're
still die.
pretty conflicted on it, though. I think the panel was.
Is that what it is? Like,
they were held up.
So there
There's
was
there was two different situations that happened. I think one was a hung jury,
Yep.
and then one of them was I don't remember the legal term, but basically it was claimed as a mistrial.
Yep. And that's where the Juan Martinez information, where he leaked. Well, he didn't leak. He was telling a blogger inside information. And he was, I don't know exactly what, but when you go to court where you're going to be disbarred. So he just hung it up and left. And then the other situation that Drew was talking about was one of the jurors said no to the death penalty. And that juror actually was receiving death threats after that. So
Wow.
the Jodi Arias case, there's just so much fallout that was involved with that case. I mean, the lawyers, both of them, no longer practicing.
wow.
Travis Alexander, and you got to keep in mind, people know here we say Jodi Arias, but who did she kill?
Exactly. Other cases, Gabby Patino, I think it was, like, and Brian was, I know it was Brian Laundrie, I think. So, like,
Think
I
was his
know
name.
the
Yep.
killer's name, but it takes me a second. Like, that was the Gabby Patino case.
To think of the
It
victim's
was the
name.
Lacey Peterson, and okay, yeah, I think the husband's name was Scott Peterson, but it's like, it was never.
Recently I just finished the John Wayne Gacy doc on Netflix, and that was one thing that Joe Berlinger, who's done a lot of those documentaries, it's like a lot of times they focus on the murderer versus the people who were murdered.
You
What
see
is
it in rap too. We see it
Yep.
in rap music, and they rap about it. It's like, like I think it was a Kendrick line, but he's just like put the one in front of the gun, or the one who dies, I
Yes.
guess, lives forever. But he's like,
one
pull
in
the
front
trigger.
of the
Yeah.
I mean, you look
There's
at King
But they want
Von.
him- yeah.
We know, everybody know who King Von is, and
Yeah.
he died.
Listen,
But
Kankakee.
apparently, his killer was somebody that was also a rapper who was also well known.
Yeah.
You never hear about him, but it's just interesting how Jodi Arias's name, like, really took over the case. She took over. I mean, when you really look at it, she was really the mastermind. Like,
Yeah.
this girl was not stupid at all. You know what I mean? Like, she was able to commit a crime. And one thing that I noticed, like, the looks didn't really appear, like, she didn't come off as a girl that knew she was beautiful prior to the murder.
Kind of naive.
Right? Because you know how
Yeah.
some of the girls are when they know they
If you
look
pull
good.
up to Old Town Scottsdale, you'll see
Right?
the ones that
They
know what they
know.
She
look
meets
like.
a nice
Jodi-
LDS guy.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Jodi in Scottsdale and living in that type of Tempe,
Yep.
you put it together, you're like, yeah, she didn't really know about
Yeah,
the
she would have
looks
been
until
kind of an average
afterward.
Joe.
Right?
Maybe so, yeah.
But it wasn't until she got arrested, the photos,
Yeah.
your mug shots are so sensationalized nowadays. People are like, yo, I want to bail this girl out, or the guy that with the green eyes, the tattoos,
Yes, I remember that guy. Yes,
he literally
modeling
he got a
career
modeling deal
after.
after that, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you look at it, we really look. Yes, we can look at OJ, and that was one of the ones where it was, we actually had the news, but where that shift, where the news was starting to close out in podcast and social media and all that stuff, the Jodi Arias case sticks out
Yeah.
by far.
Go ahead.
I was gonna, you mentioned, like, okay, so do you feel like the cameras were a bit of a trigger? Do you think, and we said maybe bipolar, multiple personality disorder, whatever that was, do you think there's an element of, like, narcissism or psychopathy there? And then she was someone who late in life maybe discovers that, I have looks here. Like, she starts hearing things like, you're going through this thing, but people are saying you're good looking or something when the mugshot comes out, and that she starts hearing coverage of it. Do you think that's, like, what maybe Joe recognized is, like, there's an element of that here, and if I that's gasoline, and basically, and once there's some spark.
So the common factor between Joe and Jodi is the cameras. They love cameras. Sheriff Joe, he loves cameras, right?
Okay, yeah.
So it was an opportunity, and I hate to use the word opportunity, but it was an opportunity for him to take a high profile case, but also it doesn't take long, especially as guys, to know when somebody's mental state is off, especially a female.
This is true.
So, it's sitting there, probably the guards and everybody, and even the inmates. This she's a little off her rocker.
They gave each other the nod.
Yep. And then, she wants interviews, cameras, all of that stuff has to be approved by Sheriff Joe. Sitting down and talking to him, I was like, oh, wow, a lot of those interviews that took place happened in your jail. That I didn't know. But now I know that.
Interesting.
So it sits back. I'm sitting back and I'm like, well, if she's unstable, it's going to turn into a high-profile case. The murder happened in 2008. She wasn't convicted until 2015.
Yeah.
That's 7 years later, right? And then on top of that, that's 7 years of publicity, on top of the other high-profile cases.
That's when, was it SB 49? What was that? What was going on at that time? What was that law that Sheriff Joe implemented?
Was that all the?
It was SB something. It was like
wearing
SB.
pink intense.
No. It was when he was pulling people over.
Oh.
You remember that? It was like SB 49 or SB. That
I don't remember the exact
There's
law,
some
but I
laws,
do
but
remember
that was
kinda
around
like the
that
New York
time.
frisk and stop
yes,
thing.
correct.
Yeah,
it was the
a
Arizona version
yeah.
of that. And so to your point, it just clicked in my head that Yeah, that was Sheriff Joe's time. He was always on the news, and you were always seeing him constantly.
And you got to
in the
look
city.
at it like the sheriff is really a political position,
Yeah.
right? You're elected.
It's not like the
right?
Westerns anymore. He's not
yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
He's not the
And-
best gunslinger in town. Yeah.
Exactly. And not only that, he was sheriff for like 24, 25 years.
long
I mean,
time.
that's almost 3 decades.
The Italian guy's I can't think of his name now, but
Sammy the Bull.
No, the new sheriff. after
Oh,
Sheriff Joe.
Penzone.
Penzoni.
Yes, Penzoni. Yeah, I pronounced
we'll
that
get
wrong.
into
Yeah.
Sammy the Bull, dude. That's crazy.
What's funny is
Crazy pull, dude.
just a side note. I'll see if he'll be, because he's doing tons of podcasts. So I'll see if he can come in. Yeah,
That would be. We would
Hey,
love that.
hey, listen, we might need Pop Popular for that one. Do you want Sammy the Bull?
Well, no, you bring Sammy the Bull.
Hey,
See, the cool thing
I'm just
about
Hey, shut up! Stop it!
Hey,
God forbid!
God forbid.
listen, he comes in. He's got a crew full of women, and he's really a sweetheart. Like I don't I know it's a weird term, but he is a nice fucking guy.
Sammy the Bull.
That's
nice,
how
I'm nice
killers. People that are like really killers are typically like that. You can sit down and within 5 minutes you'll be like, yes, I know, because he's got that charisma. You could tell he had no problem setting somebody
but
up.
don't push me back. Yeah.
Exactly. And literally the nicest, like he's just so soft spoken.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's just, he's at a point in his life to where it's like, hey, this is his story, and if he can help people out with getting the story out, because once again, we popular term is snitching, but in reality, it's like John Gotti turned on him.
True.
It's just not like he just went. Gotti turned on him first. So what is he supposed to do? He protected his family.
Yeah.
He protected his future and all the people that were involved, because they weren't just going to go for him. They were going to come after his family and close friends and stuff. So like he says in his interviews, he was playing chess, not checkers. And, so I'll definitely sit down and talk with him and see what, we can make that happen, because,
I just hate that, I think it was Donovan's downtown. I hate that that's gone.
No. It was Durant's.
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 Durant's. The
restaurant?
Durant's,
Yeah, it's done.
The one with the red interior.
With the purple
on Central in Virginia.
Yes,
Done.
that location's gone, man.
We had actually joked about doing a
We were gonna do
podcast
an episode
episode
there,
before it closed down officially. Durant's is done, my man.
There was just no better mob vibe in the city that I'm aware of.
I took Crystal on a date
and
there
like a
one
legit
time.
one too, like a legit. Like,
I am so
you
like,
could see-
I'm
You didn't
bothered
know?
by that. No.
Yes.
No, because that's like a staple of
Arizona.
of
Phoenix.
you go in
downtown.
there
Yep, it's
and
done,
the intro there was Tony 2 times and
Yeah, yeah.
you can
I'm
hear
gonna get
it.
the papers,
Yeah,
get the
yeah,
papers.
Yeah, you can hear the intro.
Could I just say one thing though, Clive? And I want to just take a second to focus on you, because when I've talked to my friends and family about you coming on, people know about you that have kept up with us. One thing I respect about you, man, is your Arizona history and your Arizona knowledge. Jodi Arias, Sammy the Bull is now here. The documentaries you've done on Arizona and Phoenix, I just, from anyone who lives here or just like appreciates the state of Arizona, like you do a very good job of highlighting monumental things that have happened in the state of Arizona. And I just feel like you need to be recognized for
I
that.
appreciate
Well
that.
said.
Thank you. Thank
no,
you.
I think
seriously.
it's
Cheers.
the
Cheers
work.
to that.
Yes, cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Cheers, man.
I got my water here,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
Cheers. We'll cheers.
No,
absolutely.
I think that's at the core of it, and it's why any specific topic that you do is so engaging. Is you are so good at giving context that it's just like, why does what you're telling me matter?
Yes.
You already have that set, and I just wish I had a pair of glasses I could put on, and it was sort of the Clive lens, and I could just drive around Arizona and things that I see every day.
51 highway.
He'd be like,
That's actually not a bad idea.
They actually
Right.
mine uranium out of there, and I'm like, what? Isn't that Bob's Furniture Warehouse? He's like, yep. I would kill for that, man.
I mean, dude, there's so much. I mean,
There is so much history
Arizona.
here.
I mean, really
Crazy, man.
I just went up to.
This is ancient land. We talked about last time we met. We talked.
So
about
just
this.
like not last weekend, 2 weekends ago, I just went and filmed. I'm doing something. Just went up to Sedona, and just filmed some stuff. And
Legendary.
I got. I can't. So I love coming on here and dropping new information. I can't give too much, but I'm going
You've said
to
that
be
before on this show.
another major network. Their name rhymes with Recover, and we are going to be doing a lot of like exploration, and I'm hoping and praying that I can stay in Arizona, but it'll be the American Southwest. And so yeah, that opens up, Arizona, Utah,
Wow.
Let me just tell you, I've
New
watched
Mexico.
a lot of things like the Recover Network,
Yes, yes.
and it is truly the best content
I'm
that's
I'm
out there.
subscribed myself. I'll just say.
And I will say, the Recover Network, there was some great shows, and then I'll say we got Deadliest Catch,
Okay, okay.
and then they got into the Alaskan Gold. I'll be honest, I think they strayed from the path for a little bit, and to get back to things like ancient mysteries and exploring this, that's what we want. That's it.
That's the stuff like I grew up on. Like as a kid, I had National Geographic and the magazine and looking through that, and it's definitely a step up because overall, like that is like one of the main goals is to be able to sit on those type of networks and just kind of say, hey, look, this is what happened here. This is what the Superstition Mountains was. This is why the Spanish conquistadors even came here in the first place.
Yeah.
This is why land was taken from the indigenous peoples. Like
Yep.
this stuff is not only gone on for hundreds, thousands of years. They've been hidden for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and some of them have not been found. So it's like, at some point, you got to go out there and start looking for it. You know what I mean? If you remember it, you know what I mean. You have to.
I was just watching. I'm blanking on the name, and I wish I wasn't. But it was about a treasure hunter. Like, and it was a guy. This was a guy who would literally find fabled shipwrecks, and was by far he was the goat of finding, basically. But he found all these shipwrecks. I mean, he found like tens of millions of dollars worth of it, and it's if it could work out there, no saying why it wouldn't work out in Superstition Mountains.
One thing I love doing, and now that the Aliens Uncovered series is over, one thing that I have done is I've hidden clues to like not only certain treasures in Arizona, but even like I guess what you consider treasures that could be stuff that like we found. For example, the samples of the gold and stuff like that. So if you're watching the series and you're paying attention, I told, not directly, but I told where the location is. And, if you're paying attention and you're looking, and you'll have to watch maybe 2 or 3 ones, not in the same order, but you'll see certain clues to where you're like, wait a second, I need to go back in. And then you'll put it together. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, this is where he was at.
Do you enjoy doing that then? I guess, do you kind of like leaving puzzle pieces and,
Yes.
and making people figure out kind of, yeah.
Yeah, because it's my own way, my own version of a multiverse, right? Talking about Jodi Arias and all that stuff, and that being real.
Yeah.
I can, show B-roll scenes of the Superstition Mountains or a highway that she might have took that had something involved with,
Just makes
some
it tangible.
UFO. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
So it this is why I don't really focus on stuff that is, fiction. I like to talk about things that are real. So that way I can say, okay, well, if this happened over here, I could show something about the Phoenix Lights that nobody even knows about or even heard, and just let it ride and they won't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's something to be said as like any creator, we like to leave our mark on something.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter what it is. Like, for instance, when we first started the show, not many people know that part of the intro song that we used to have was actually a song that Dom and I recorded like almost 10 years ago. Nobody would probably know that. Nobody would probably know where to find it, whatever the case is. So there's always little things that you like to leave as like your little hint of like, this is my signature on here. I'm leaving this here. And it's for you to stumble upon it if the case arises.
Dude, it somebody told it to me the best, man. They were like, you got your own style, right? They were talking about my films, and the way they broke it down is like, when I put on your documentary or I hear your voice, I automatically know who it is. And that's like similar to a Dr. Dre beat.
Yes.
You put on the Dr. Dre beat, that's Dr. You don't even have to hear
Or like
it.
a David Attenborough. It's just
You know
like,
what I mean?
listen,
Well, not to
You
correlate,
know.
but I feel like same with us. I feel like nobody does what we do in
Exactly.
the state of Arizona. You know this specifically. And so it's
Exactly.
like, if you want to come on our platform, you know what you're gonna get. I mean, you see where we're at, and it's like you're not gonna get that with everywhere else. It's the same. That's why we
Absolutely.
link the way we do.
I mean, it in this day and age, like if you're not, and I say this, I've come on this show and I've said it time and time again, being authentic is the only route to go.
Yep.
There's no reason for you to bite anybody's style or anything like that. That is not the world that we live in. I mean, this is why comedians get mad when you take their jokes. This is why rap artists get mad when you jack their style. It's because there's so much in creativity. We don't even know where it comes from.
Yep.
But it just comes.
Yep.
And it's every single day somebody is putting something out there that is totally new, off the top of the brain, and it's working.
Yep.
I mean, I can think of so many people, creators right now, that why bite?
Yeah.
Why do you want to go be a Dr. Phil? Why do you want to be like Theo Von? Why do you want to go be like Joe Rogan? You guys are just doing who you are, being who you are.
Yeah.
And the name, like I said, it's within the range of what you talk about. There's like, what's wrong with that? You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like, this is your own lane.
Yeah.
You're staying in your own lane. You're not trying to get over here. You're not trying to do this.
Dude, we try and stay out the way, man.
Dude, let me tell you something. I stayed in my own lane for so long that one day I looked up and I had an entire highway system with interchangeables. And
Damn.
I could get off at Tubi. I could get off on Amazon. I got off on Netflix. I'm about to go to
Recovery.
the recovery channel.
See, you got the bullet train. You got the
Yeah,
Japanese
you know what I
Tokyo
mean?
bullet
And
train,
it,
dude.
when you
Right,
look up,
stops.
you're like, damn.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm built into Samsung TVs now. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy being able to turn on my TV cable, and I'm like,
There it is.
But the problem
Why
is
do
the
I
other
hear
guys that you
myself?
were competing against, they could tell you what everyone else was doing, and you can't. So you know what I mean?
Drew, you might have to clip all this, and this might have to be our intro. What Clive just absolutely fucking killed that for us.
Yeah. To me, I was gonna say it almost like you're like Thanos of the media world, just collecting in media stones. You know,
dude,
just
I
network
listen, man.
stones.
And you know what? It's funny is I actually got the idea from the RZA, Wu-Tang Clan, where he
Talk
was
to
like,
us.
literally was like, when he's talking to the members of the Wu-Tang,
All
and he's
9 of them.
like, look, let's go ahead and go get a single deal. Go. Because that logo is now Atlantic, RCA,
Yep.
all the different. He was the first that really, and when I said, damn, that is.
RZA saw the vision.
He saw the vision. So
Yep.
when you guys asked me, like, do you have a YouTube channel? I don't. Yet I got millions of views on all kinds of other channels. I'm on
Yes.
YouTube
That's a
movies
flex,
and
dude.
TVs. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
a Drake bars. Millions of views on YouTube, but I ain't got an account.
I don't got a channel. I have a channel, but
crazy.
it's like 100 subscribers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I used it for, and I won't talk about it, what I did with it, but, you know, I was getting money off of YouTube and they didn't see it. You know what I mean? But, yeah.
Reviewing griddles and barbecue. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, like the simple stuff. Just really staying in my own lane was like, oh, let me try this.
Yeah.
And it worked. And they weren't seeing any of the money. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that was cool. But yeah, man, millions of views and not one of them is on my actual channel.
Well, listen, Clive, I mean, you already know what it is, man. I mean, it's our third time connecting. This ain't going to be our last time connecting.
Absolutely.
Anything that you're involved in and you call Jared to fucking ask if you want it, and then he three-ways me in,
I was on
and
a
we
call
get
at
Drew
work,
on.
and I saw that. I was like, I need to let him know that I will call him back the
Jared-
instant
so-
I'm done work. I think it was like 5:03. I was done.
He was on the
sorry.
phone with you. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm on with Clive. Can I live you in? And I was on the couch. I was like, yeah, get me in here. And again, it just anything you do, man. Again, it is authentic.
you.
It's
Thank
real. It's what, as fans and viewers of your work, we want to see. And so, if there's anything we could do to be involved with that, we're there, man.
Absolutely. You guys are like podcast. I mean, they weren't even finished with the sentence, and I'm like,
Let 'em
I'm already
know,
in the
dude.
studio.
Let 'em
Like,
know,
yo, I know
dude.
we're gonna be here. I can set the cameras up. They got this. Yo, it's good.
You know the arena you're playing in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then once again, when you got the good vibes and it's chill. And,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's and then once again, the big thing is when you run production smoothly.
Yeah.
Right? We had some hiccups and stuff, you know what I mean? But it's
course.
like, it's going to get taken care of. I've been places where it's like, yo, we wasted 3 hours.
Ah.
We haven't even started.
Have we been there
recording."
before, boys?
3 hours? Nah, never wasted
Not that
3
long, but
hours.
we've
The
messed up a
trials
few.
and tribulations, man. You got to
Yeah.
you got to run it. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
now you're
I
at
got
that
some
point to
scars
where
on me,
it's
you know?
like, it's done. You can go. You could probably run it by yourself. You notice if you needed to. You know what
We
I'm
could.
saying?
Yeah. No, we made those right.
Yes.
We made that hole again.
So Clive, talk to us, man. Send us out here, brother. Like, where are you going? Let's just start with the Jodi doc right now, and then what do you got coming? Because you're always cooking. You always got some under your sleeve, and we hope to be a part of it. But talk to us about what's next.
So the Jodi documentary, that is, I didn't want to put too much out there, but we're gonna show some just some interesting things that were overlooked. We're hoping the goal is for her to see this, and then um, maybe a part 2.
Are you trying to? Are you still working for that interview?
Yeah,
Okay.
because one of the questions that I want to ask her is, what caused you to snap? Like, what really...
And no one's ever asked that
I don't think so.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Is because they were so focused on the looks, the murder, her mental health, kind of, even though I think that was a bigger aspect, but, by allowing her to, really stick a camera in her face and just let her go, I think people knew. I'm pretty confident that they knew, and they just let it go. If we take the cameras out of her life, we take the cameras out of the jail cells. Keep in mind, she also sang that song. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah.
The Oh Holy Night song.
Night, yeah.
Creepy.
And that, like, it is very disturbing.
Oof.
It almost sounds like a confession. And she, maybe like 4 months prior, she actually changed her story like a third or fourth time and said, what she did, self-defense and all that stuff. But the timing, the song itself, very creepy. So, we're looking to have a part 2, and then just really, hopefully we can get the family to Travis Alexander some closure. That's the big picture, right? And then we got one project called, and I smile because I'm really excited about this one. It's called Beyond the Theory. And what Beyond the Theory is I think you're going to love this one, Jared, is we are posing the next set of questions for future generations. So what I mean by that is, like, are UFOs real? Yeah, we kind of know that there's a phenomena that's actually going out there that the government is obviously keeping from us right now. The next set of questions are they us from the future? Are they actual
Getting deep
extraterrestrial beings? One of the things that we're going to talk about is the type of gold. And I don't know if I talked about this on the last episode, but we've learned that gold, if you burn it, it'll turn into a white powder. And if you continue to heat it, the white powder will disappear. Mm-hmm. And then when you turn the temperature down, it reappears. So we think that they are using this gold to cross dimensions.
I think we did touch on.
We
that
might have talked about that because I did show
slightly,
So
that's how they were potentially invisible. Yes.
And then we're also looking at, like I said, we just went up to Sedona, so we got helicopter footage of. Are you guys familiar with Bradshaw Ranch?
Mm-mm.
Oh yes.
No, never heard.
Bradshaw Ranch is one of those ranches to where if you go out there, you get military trucks.
Ranch.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
okay.
is this similar?
Yeah,
Okay,
similar
like parts
to
of the
that.
Grand Canyon, right? You go to parts of the Grand Canyon and they'll
yes,
come at you.
This ranch in specific is like right on the base of the Red Rock Mountains.
Oh.
And these trucks come out of nowhere. So we were trying to figure out, like, okay, maybe they're parked on the.
Oh no, they're deep in that mountain.
They're deep in the mountain.
The underground. The underground mountain fortress thing. That's so proven. That's so proven that that's real. They got them all over. We have no idea.
Yeah. So we're looking at the set of questions for the future.
Also,
right?
if you're gonna ride out the end of the world and pop back out eventually, I'd love to come back and sit down.
I was gonna say,
I mean,
one of the most
wiped
beautiful
out,
places I've ever been to in my entire life.
What would be beautiful
awesome.
if there was no one there eventually? It was like,
Yeah,
we
we
could
just
put the booger in Sedona.
Sedona.
Springs,
Well, you also got to look at it like this. Similar Sedona, Grand Canyon, and if you've ever been to like Greece or like the old world,
Oh no.
a lot of their structures are
High ground.
Yeah. Like Sedona would be, like the Grand Canyon and stuff like that.
Parts of Italy.
Yeah, especially, so it just makes you, when you look at the similarities between what happened with the flood there, and then all the evidence that we have here, you know, it seems like people were going underground and then coming back out after.
After the flood.
Yep.
Yes. Love
Yep.
that. Love
Man.
that.
So yeah, man, it's just a lot of projects. I got something with Tommy Chong.
Damn.
Yeah. I got some, and that's footage that I filmed 9 years ago.
Oh, come on, man. What do they say? You just got to put it out.
You just got to put it out, you know. I mean, I did film Sheriff Joe and Sammy the Bull together, so I'm working on something with that where it's like, you know, the cop and the hitman, where, you know, they're both talking like mob, because one is the hitman, the other one fought crime, so both Italian, so they have that tie.
It's crazy.
So yeah, man, I just got a lot of stuff that I'm working on that you're gonna see a lot of production, but it's going to be really bottled in and under our control more. So
Love that.
We're ready, bro. Listen, you heard it here, Within Range. Clive Byfields. This ain't the first time he's been on. This ain't the last time he's been on.
yeah.
We appreciate you, my brother. We got
Thank
Ear
you.
got on for this episode. He doesn't make it all the time. He had to make it for this. Also,
I appreciate you, Drew. Thank you, man.
This might be our first ever Saturday early afternoon episode.
Oh,
so
It's our first dager.
Yeah, we don't do a lot of day interviews.
Well, I mean, the ideas were flowing before the show, you know what I mean? So it might be a shift, you know. I think we're even changing the name to the Beef and Broccoli Stew.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there, but you know, the beef and broccoli.
That was perfect, dude. Drew, send us out on the shit, dude.